And welcome back to the Daily Wrap. It's time to read some of your viewer comments. First up, we have some comments on gun legislation. Here's one from Mike, who says, guns need to be left alone. They are not the problem. I do have a solution. Only make and sell rubber cartridges, no more metal. Still, we'll fight off intruders, but we'll stop senseless killing. Problem solved. That's kind of interesting. Did anybody go for that, do you think, in the gun world? They wouldn't, right?
I don't know. Changing anybody's mind on anything gun right now is
hard, but
especially like the way they're doing.
I like that Mike's thinking about it.
Me too.
You're up, Jonathan.
So Sammy says no new gun laws are justified when current laws are not being enforced and background checks are incomplete. Those who see violence or suspect someone is capable of harming others should get involved and report it without fear of retaliation. Doing the right thing is not always easy, but it is the right thing. Step up. Get involved.
All right.
That, I think, myself, is probably the greatest thing.
Good stuff tonight. James says, perhaps we have so few terrorist deaths here in the U.S. because we have so many guns. Don't know what to say about that. Maybe. I don't know.
Robert B. says, please don't talk about restricting gun laws to the mentally ill like all the other shows. Such laws would not have prevented either the VA or the Virginia or the Charleston shootings. Neither gunman had been diagnosed with a mental illness, although they should have been.
Yeah, I mean, I get the point of the comment, and you know, he's right in the sense that we're looking at mental illness as trying to find some way to get a handle on these terrible things that are happening. And he's right. And certainly in the Virginia case, from everything we know, he passed the background check. We don't know if he ever had seen a psychiatrist or not, but we haven't heard that he has.
But I think the combination of the one guy, what he said there a minute ago, and what this person is saying, that you can't really go after mental illness completely if people aren't reporting the mental illness.
No, you're right.
We have to have ways to look at this.
And like our first guest said, you can't identify just because someone's mentally ill in whatever way. You can't identify that they're actually a threat, that they shouldn't have a gun.
That's true. And this guy in Virginia is maybe the best example. There's nothing that, aside from his workplace anger, there doesn't seem to have been that much that would have given it away.
There were a lot of dots, but you would have to connect them together and write a thesis around it. And that hasn't happened, right?
So this is, but look, I actually kind of like when the focus is on that approach, because we're not going to solve it the other way. Let's be honest. Maybe we can do something there. Ken says, once again, I find myself in agreement with Rick Unger. Ken, you need to get help. While I am a strong and ardent proponent of gun ownership, he is right. And once again, the push for more gun laws is going to go nowhere. And rightly so. No McKee is wrong about her arguments against gun ownership. She wants to ban handguns. Newsflash, the Supreme Court vindicated handguns for personal protection in the D.C. versus Heller case in 2008. You were correct about that.
Jeff says a couple of nutcases do not constitute the disarming of Americans. That's just stupid talk. We are talking about just a couple of sick people and 350 million citizens. Gun control didn't stop the guy on a French train with an AK-47. 3 Americans did.
Fair point. And I don't think many people, even on the left today, are talking about disarming Americans. People are searching for a way to solve a difficult problem.
But I think that's the problem with the response to the Virginia shootings, because if the law was followed and worked, then what's the alternative? It sounds as though they're saying disarm Americans.
Are we ever going to get into the smart gun conversation in this country? I mean, the technology, I think, is there.
I don't think it would help in any of these circumstances.
Well, it wouldn't in this one. Again, you're absolutely right. The guy bought a gun legally. He would have been programmed for him. But I think there are situations, for instance, Sandy Hook.
A smart gun, for those that don't know, is where there's technology where only a person that buys that weapon
coded
can
to
use
your
that
trigger finger, and only you can use it.
It's not going to help in these.
And it'll certainly help with accidental deaths.
Yeah.
Where kids get a hold of them, and that's a big chunk of the deaths that are gun related.
That's right, and suicide, which may not be the guns that those people own. That's true. Yeah.
So I would love to see the conversation turn somewhat in that direction. In any event, here's a comment about Megyn Kelly from William, who says, might I say a professional news person to me simply states the facts, nothing more. As far as Miss Megyn Kelly, who cares? It's also pretty easy to see that you seem to be pushing the Donald Trump's going to top out and fizzle thing. Oh, I see where he's going. Which is just another way to try to divest the American people of what they want. And as professional news people, should you be trying at all to influence the story you're trying to report? Guys, you just ain't that slick. Couple quick responses. The only one on this panel who might be trying to push Donald Trump out would probably be me. I don't think you'll find too many others here who feel that way. And you know what? We are a show that talks about opinions. We don't just report facts. If you want that, you can go find that somewhere, but that's not what we do here. Jonathan.
I just think that the press, especially when it comes to the presidential race, needs to back off a little bit on their opinions and present who is there. I mean, that's why the press has fought so hard to have their freedom of speech.
Okay, and finally tonight, I think we're out, aren't we? We're out of time. Remember, if you want to weigh in on any of these issues we talk about here on the show, be sure to go to newsmaxtv.com/comments and let us know what you think. Quickly, guys, yes or no's, will we ever get smart gun legislation?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
We won't because the NRA doesn't want it. Coming up next, it's time for Yay or Nay. This is the Daily Wrap.